Well, it looks like the world's only launched wooden coaster may not be able to hold that title anymore. Well, sort of. Yes, you read the title right. Lightning Rod will be receiving a makeover from RMC by actually getting RMC'd. Parts of the topper track on Lightning Rod are going to be replaced by steel hybrid track for the 2021 season. Today, I'll be discussing which parts of the ride will get RMC'd, some reasons why Dollywood chose to do this, and how this will affect the ride experience, ride availability, and if it can actually be better than it was before. I'd also like to mention that Mystery Mine, the park's Gerstlauer Eurofighter, is getting some work done to its track as well. I'll go over this toward the end of the video, but before we hop into the information, make sure to like this video to help us beat the YouTube algorithm. I'd also like to tell all newcomers that we are on the grind to 1,000 subscribers, and I want you to be the part of the journey. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button down below. I can't stress enough how much this means to me, and I would really appreciate it. Now with all that being said, let's hop into the video. What parts of the coaster will be RMC'd? First, let's start with the numbers. Of the 3,800 feet of track, 2,160 feet will be converted to steel iBox track. The launch, the first hill and drop, and everything after the first bank turn will be converted to iBox track. The wave turn and first reverse bank turn will remain topper track. There will be no changes to the layout. One more thing to take note of is that some land near the finale of the ride has been cleared. Even though the layout will remain the same, we could see some changes in the coaster's support structure to maybe accommodate the new track or just add support to existing structures. I got all this information from an Ace Southeast interview with some people at the park. I don't have 100% confirmation on which portions of the ride will be converted, but it is very likely that the elements that I mentioned will be converted because of pictures we've seen in other leaks. Why is Dollywood doing this? In the interview that I mentioned earlier, they did give some reasons why they are doing this. I don't think it's too much of a question why they are doing this, but I do have some secondary reasons in addition to the ones they gave. The reasons they gave were they wanted to improve the reliability of the coaster and they wanted to make maintenance a little bit easier. This makes a lot of sense. Everyone knows the issues with Lightning Rod and its downtime. Lightning Rod was rarely seen operating in its early years and it really only had about a 50-50 shot of being open in the last couple of years on any given day. Lightning Rod was an experiment that failed for the most part. Yes, it may be considered one of the best coasters in the world, but if a coaster's had as much downtime as Lightning Rod has had, there's almost nothing that can make up for that. Not only was this RMC's first launch coaster, but it was also the world's first wooden launch coaster, making the window for air much bigger. The other reason they gave is to improve maintenance. Topper track coasters have been a little more rough around the edges and they likely provide a little more of a challenge than their steel counterpart. And on a ride as troubled as Lightning Rod, this could add to the problem. So it makes a lot of sense why they would look to decrease any issues outside of the launch technology. I personally have not ridden the ride, but from what I've heard is Lightning Rod has gradually gotten rougher over the years. I've heard similar things about other topper track coasters, so maybe Dollywood was worried about the ride possibly hitting unbearable levels in the future. So maybe this is an act out of caution to prevent the ride from getting crazy rough in some spots. No matter which way you look at it, Dollywood has a pretty good reason to make this move. The next thing I want to talk about is how these changes will affect how the ride feels and if it will change the availability of the coaster. In my opinion, this should definitely help smooth out the coaster. The iBox track never fails to perform, and I'm excited to see what people have to say about it. I think the forces that the ride currently provides will remain the same after this change. I can dream that they'll speed up the launch a bit, and it'll once again give a big pop of airtime at the top of the hill. But that's a bit of a stretch. Now for the availability portion, it's a little bit iffy. I'm not sure how much this will change performance of the ride. I'd have to imagine they're doing a significant work on the launch system, but I don't know how the track has to do with the problem. I think that it could help improve the availability of the coaster, but that's completely dependent on what the main problems for the coaster were. However, I think it should increase the availability of the ride because there's not much sense in doing this if Dollywood didn't think it improved the availability. I'm pretty sure that RMC will be able to increase the availability of this coaster. They've come a long way in the past 5 years, so who knows what's up their sleeve. I have to imagine this decision was made for the better and will improve its availability in the future. Now let's move on to the most exciting part, and that is will it make the ride better. I think there's certainly a very good chance that that is the case. Like I mentioned earlier, the ride should be significantly smoother, which should improve the ride experience. I also like the idea of both types of track being combined into one coaster. I think that RMC could pull together the best of both worlds and make it into a super coaster if the availability improves. Like I said earlier, this coaster was an experiment to create one of the best coasters in the world, and this experiment is far from over. I'm very optimistic that this should improve the ride and further establish it as one of the best coasters in the world. I can't wait to see how this turns out, and this should be very interesting to see what significant changes to the ride experience are made. Finally, I wanted to very briefly talk about Mystery Mine. The park also announced that Mystery Mine will be undergoing some work for the next season. It will be getting some track work done to the Helix area after the trestle section of the ride, shortly after the first lift hill. Additionally, work is going to be done to the trestle bridge to allow it to be re-themed. The theming on the trestle bridge was removed earlier in the year due to a piece falling and striking a guest. A lot of minor upgrades, but I still thought this deserved to be mentioned. All in all, this is a very interesting situation we have with Lightning Rod. I feel that it is bound to be a good thing in the long run, but we'll have to wait and see. I know that a lot of people are uneasy about it not being a completely wooden coaster anymore, and I get that, but I can almost assure you that it'll be in the best interest of everyone. I'm very intrigued about this mini conversion, and I can't wait to see what this can mean for the future of the ride. Hopefully a future of consistency and award winning. That's all I have today. Please make sure to like this video if you already haven't, and subscribe to the channel for more coaster news coming soon. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.